All right, what's up, everybody? This is Rob Scout with the Living in Southern Maryland podcast. Today we have Vinny from the Deli in Leonardtown, one of my favorite places to eat, and honestly, all of Southern Maryland. Vinny, thanks for coming on today.
Thank you for having me on there and promoting the deli so much.
I'm happy to, man. Like you guys see it, and you always share the stuff I put out. I absolutely love all the food you guys have coming out of there, and I'm actually gluten free. So the fact that you actually have gluten free bread and stuff like that makes it so much better too. So it's one of my favorite places. But I gotta say, and I'll tell a little story about the Deli for us, and then I want to kind of hear your story behind it. But we found the Deli back when it was in Ridge. You guys had like a satellite restaurant down in Ridge, Maryland, for a little bit. And at the time, my wife was pregnant with our son, and her cravings was the babalu, was the spicy Cuban. And around that time too, you guys disappeared for a little bit. I think just took care of family matters and kind of pulled back from the restaurant business. And when you opened up the shop back in Leonardtown again, it was literally the happiest day of her life to see that meal again. So I hope you guys know it's not just the delicious food, it's you're part of people's lives. So I want to know more about your story and what has brought Deli, through the years of Southern Maryland, because I think you've been around for, what is it now? How many years has it been around?
My grandmother started it in 2000.
Okay. So
We were
23 years as part of Southern Maryland. So go ahead, tell us, starting with your grandmother, how did it all kind of happen?
So we all moved here from California in like 99. And my grandmother's like, I want to open a restaurant. So they found a place on the square and they opened it. It was her and my mom and aunt and my other aunt, my non-blood aunt, and they hired one other person to start off, and my great grandmother actually too worked there, and they killed it for like 4 years on the square. It was good, and then the building sold, so that deli closed down in 2004, and then a couple of years went by, and in 2007 we reopened where Leonardtown Grill was next to Salsa's.
Yep.
And then we were there until 2010. And then my grandmother got sick. And she ended up passing away eventually. And we all kind of scattered. I got married and moved to Canada. My cousin moved to Brooklyn. My mom moved to California. And then we all ended up back here. And our moms got an offer to reopen where we currently are, or actually one space over, and they jumped on it, and we're like, all right, let's do it.
You can tell you guys are family in there. If you walk in to the restaurant, it's a family atmosphere, and you feel like your family when you go in there. And it makes sense since you've been it's been a family business since 2000. That makes a lot of sense. So some people might be wondering right now, I know why it's called the Deli. And I think it has a lot to do with your roots in California and of course, a certain band. But tell us a little more about why you guys chose the Deli back in 2000 as the name.
So they were trying to come up with a name, and I'm pretty sure it was actually my aunt, Maria, who was like big. She's a huge Deadhead, but she loves the Grateful Dead. And she was like, there's a song called Truckin'. And one of the lines in the song is trucking like a doodah man. And the Deli just kind of flowed with like triple D. Like it rained perfectly. So I think that's what I think. I mean, I was 12 years old when this happened, so it's a little fuzzy. But yeah, that's basically the gist of how we got that name. And then we just kind of went with the whole musical theme. Like when we had the original deli down on the square, everything, there was music notes all over the place. We had like Beatles posters, and music has always been huge in our family.
And when you walk into the restaurant, I know I do it every single time. I stop and I look around at everything on the walls first. And I got different clients that live in Leonardtown that just moved here. They're actually renters in one of our houses. And that's what they said too. The first thing they did when they walked in is they looked at the walls and they just loved everything that was the vibe in there, all the music stuff on the walls, all the Grateful Dead, all the tie-dye and all that kind of stuff. And you can tell you guys just embody that, musical welcoming, feeling that the Grateful Dead always has promoted through its music and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I think it's one of those unique places in Southern Maryland that you feel it's a unique feeling in Southern Maryland to walk in and feel like that. Like, you don't feel that in many other places where it's
I
that unique.
appreciate that. Like, we try really hard to make, like, that's why we ask people's names. Like, we want to know who you are. Like, and like when you walk in, we're like, oh, hey, how you doing? Like, I know you. Like, it's not like you're just random customer number 5,
Yep. And I can
We know
honestly
your
say,
name.
like, you guys knew me by my order. I was the gluten-free Cuban
Yep.
every single time. And I never called you. I always ordered online because it was the only way I could order during the school day. And when I got there, you knew it was me. It was done. You
Yep.
knew it was me. You knew who it was, and it was taken care of. And that's why you guys do so well, is because you treat everyone like that family.
Like all the stuff on the walls here, I'm here every day. And I still find stuff on the walls that I'm like, oh man, that's cool. I didn't know we had that.
Yep.
And a lot of this from like our house, like it's our personal like posters and stuff. Like there's a Kiss poster on the wall here that was in me and my cousin's bedroom when we were kids, and it's still here. Some of this stuff has been donated from customers, and that's really cool too. People just bring us random stuff, and it's like, hey, you guys want to hang this in the deli? I've been holding on to this for like 20 years, but I
That's
figured it would look
awesome.
really cool hanging up in here, and we welcome people to like donate stuff like that. We were always like, if it's like fits the theme and stuff, we were always like hang stuff up and be like, hey.
The biggest thing that I noticed in the last few months, I guess it's been about 8 months now that you guys made the switch over. You were in the smaller space
It's
next
actually
door, and then you switched
it's
over
been
to the
a
bigger
year
restaurant.
actually.
What's it been, a
It's been
year?
just over a year, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
It doesn't feel like it, but it's been like a game changer. We have a proper dining room. We
Yep.
have a full kitchen. Like in our space that we were at next door, we had what you saw is what we had. Like we
Yeah.
made it work with what we had, and now having a full-fledged kitchen, a deep fryer, like actual like flat top grills, like we have everything now, and it's been such a game changer.
So do you see more people coming in and sitting during the lunch hour and stuff like that now
Oh
than you
yeah,
did before?
some days our dining rooms are just packed, and it's great. And like we have couches and stuff in here, and sometimes people just come in here and chill, and I think it's great. Like
So
I
I
like
gotta
to be the cool like hangout spot.
And it sounds like that's what I was about to say. I think it's probably just the cool hangout spot, something that, Leonardtown is starting to be known for more and more, between you guys, the Slice House, Social, places like that, where people aren't just coming to grab food. They're coming to hang out and be with those people in those establishments, whether it's hanging out with you, Vinny, or actually hang out with friends that, that they brought to the restaurant. They're coming to be with those people. And you can see it in Leonardtown. It's just more and more people are starting to see that as a place to be, not just kind of passing through. All right. So you talked about food, and I got a question for you. We talked about this before, and I gave you some time to think about it. Favorite sandwich at Deli for you? And I'll share mine when you're done.
So my favorite, and I missed this the whole time in between closing, it is the babalu. It is the Cuban. Like I would actually call that our signature sandwich. We make the Cuban pork. We make the Chipotle mayo. Like I hand cut the ham. I cut the cheese. Like, and the only thing like I don't actually make is the pickles and the bread. Like,
So I got a question about the pickles. What brand are the pickles? I think I figured it out now.
our pickles we actually get from our food distributor, Savile, and it's
Gotcha.
their homemade, their pickles.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, then they're not them. But that's mine too. So spoiler alert, my favorite is the Babalu. I think it is absolutely one of the best sandwiches, not just like a deli, that I've ever had. Like, and I didn't realize you made your own ham. I figured you got it from
So we don't
'cause
we don't make the ham, but we make the Cuban pork. So it's
gotcha.
ham and pork like together. So the ham we get from Savile. It's
Okay.
it's a Virginia ham, but the Cuban pork we make ourselves. And we also have recently started making our own corned beef.
That's crazy. That's another one that a lot of people like, is the corned beef sandwich as well, right?
The,
What's
yeah,
that called?
the Reuben, we call
Yeah.
it the Midler.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's
Yeah.
also extremely popular. We also, I would say our steak and cheese is picking up. We call that the labelle. And we actually chop up roast beef, grilled onions, grilled mushrooms, grilled roasted red peppers, provolone cheese on a sub roll. Like it's a different take on it, but it's proven to be pretty popular.
So everyone loves a good secret menu item. Is there one that like a regular comes in or that you guys have developed back there that you think is like a good secret item for someone to make? I know because if you don't know, if you've never been to Deli, you can actually create your own as well. So there's a whole list of things that you can create your own from. It's not just the ones on the menu. So if you don't see something you like, you can actually create your own. And it can honestly, for me, it's a little bit overwhelming. And I honestly just pick the ones that you guys make because I think you guys have excellent,
I feel like it can be
taste.
a little overwhelming to most people,
Mhm.
but I would just do. So we would do like any sandwich as a salad.
Okay.
So that's like if you're gluten free, like you said you
Yep.
were. If you don't want the gluten free bread, or you're just not feeling carbs at the moment, we can turn any sandwich into a salad, and vice versa. We've definitely turned some of our salads into wraps for people.
Okay.
So like the Greek salad, we've definitely made a couple Greek salad wraps here and there.
That's a good
And
idea right there. So if you guys didn't figure out, my favorite sandwich by far is the babalu. Like I think that's just one of the best sandwiches, like I said on there. It's my wife's favorite sandwich as well. But you guys got to go and check out the Deli and all these different choices, that they have here. So where can I know you guys put out specials a lot, and you mentioned that you had the Fry Reuben special recently. Where's the best place for people to find out more about Deli and kind of follow along your guys' journey?
our Facebook page is probably the most updated one. I try to stay on top of Instagram, but it's not always as easy for me to stay on top of Instagram as much. But I post at least 4 or 5 times a week on Facebook. We have the weekly special and our weekly soup. And I say our soups are insanely popular, and they're all homemade from scratch. Uh, we usually come up with it the day before or a couple days before. We're not great at planning, but I think that's what makes it better some of the time is
Yeah.
that we throw our heart and soul into it.
Facebook is where they can find out about those specials, and I highly recommend following them on Facebook. They have thousands of followers. I know that. And if you don't know where they are, they're in Leonardtown, right as you're coming into downtown Leonardtown on the right-hand side. And you got to go check them out. I'm telling you right now, if you're moving to the area or you already live in the area, you need to go down to Deli like yesterday. And we both agree, Vinny and I both agree, the first sandwich you should order is the babalu. Like one of your people in your order or in your group have to order the babalu. And if you want to share it, that's great. But just get that. I tell you, it's like life-changing sandwich. All right. Well, that is our podcast for today. Vinny, thank you for coming on and talking about the Deli. I'll be seeing you, I'm sure, in the next few days here to try out that labelle and French fries. We're going to give that a try.
Sounds good. I look forward to it.
All right, man. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Yep.